There are so many gay things in the world, and we're here to break them all down for you. Gay Weekly Roundtable starts now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Guys, be our guest as the entire family is back together for the first time in ages. Welcome to Gay Weekly Roundtable. We are your hosts. I'm Adam Salandra. You can find me on all the social medias at Adam Salandra.
Hi, I'm the belle of the ball. My name is Tony Moore, and you can find me at all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com.
I'm the Chip of the family.
How cute.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm adorable.
But I don't know.
Ouch.
You're the
I'm Mrs.
You're the
Potts.
duster.
Oh, I'm the duster.
Most definitely.
Oh yeah, you're Babette.
Yeah.
That seems accurate. I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And I'm live in the chat. So be our guest in the chat.
Oh.
Yes, and I am your candlestick.
Oh, that can be taken video away.
Well,
And indeed, he
it
is all of them.
Gay
Yep.
Weekly Roundtable.
Exactly.
I am Blake McIver, and you can find me everywhere at Blake McIver.
Yay.
Look at that. We're
Look at
all
us
back
back.
together.
The fan
Absolutely
band.
love it. Did you guys have a magical week? Oscars week.
Oh,
Weekend.
Oscars.
I did.
What a time.
Oh.
There's a lot to say, but before we jump into everything, the thing that keeps getting brushed aside that is so important, for the first time in history, an LGBT-themed film won Best Picture.
Yay.
At the
Yes,
Oscars.
Moonlight.
That's amazing.
It almost
Obviously.
didn't,
But it almost
it
didn't.
did.
And let's discuss that. Because Moonlight, if you haven't seen it, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm dying to see
What?
it.
I saw it.
I've
know
seen
it's
it
bad.
twice.
Really?
The one was for me, thank you.
Oh,
I want to. I know it's horrible that I haven't, but I haven't.
At this point, you need to.
No, now at this point
I'm
it's embarrassing.
offended.
And now it's in like tons of theaters.
Well, that's the
Yes.
thing. I want to see that. I mean, I could have seen it in the theater anyway, but
Right.
now it'll be even easier. Forgive me, but
yeah, get on that.
forgiven.
even still, I wanted it to win. I mean, I know what's
Yeah.
what in the world.
Yeah.
But of course, it wasn't slated to win, and nor was it called.
I mean,
but
Faye
it
Dunaway
happened.
jumping to conclusions.
Wow.
Well,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Faye and Warren,
Bless them.
they
it
did.
wasn't their fault.
Yeah, they did what they were like.
They made a choice,
I
as
guess.
you would in that situation.
Yeah. Because
Well-
what were they supposed to do? Oh, this is the wrong envelope.
Of course.
I mean, yes,
You might have.
that is
You might
what,
have. You
that
did.
is
It's an
what you
option.
should have done.
Okay, let me give y'all the tea
Yes.
on that based on what I have read.
Okay.
Okay, so it turns out that in rehearsals, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway were actually allegedly.
Yes.
'Cause you have to say
Allegedly.
I
Now they're watching
I
it.
watch enough Wendy Williams to know that you're supposed to say allegedly.
Yep.
Allegedly, during rehearsals, they were going back and forth as to who will actually announce
Yes.
Oh, the title.
I've heard that
the
too.
title
Fighting
of,
about it.
of who it, yeah, fighting
Allegedly.
about it. Allegedly.
Of course they were.
Right.
Warren bowed down and said, well, fine, Faye can do it. Cut to...
Because no one wants that wrath.
Right. So
We
cut
all saw
to-
Mommy Dearest.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we did.
Now that I
right?
have been watching this week
Several
again, to be
times.
like, I need to
Okay,
relive it.
good,
Instead
good.
of watching Moonlight, I'm watching
You're watching Mommy Dearest on repeat.
Sorry.
LaShawn in the chat says shame on Adam.
I understand.
Ooh,
LaShawn is
shame.
correct.
Ding, ding.
Yeah,
Actually,
exactly.
I'm
Follow
gonna
that
be
up.
honest. It says a shame that Adam hasn't seen it yet.
Oh, but you
I'm
twisted it,
turning
but either
into
way,
shame
shame.
on you.
It's exactly.
Shame.
Anyway, so how did it turn into what
Okay,
happened?
so cut to when it's time to announce Best Picture of 2017. Notice how Warren opens the envelope, looks at it, and realizes that it's the wrong thing.
There's a long pause.
As he is standing there trying to figure it out, this is just my take on it. Faye is looking at him like, bitch, stop being dramatic. Go ahead and announce who it is. When Warren then tried to be like, girl, are you seeing what I'm seeing? She's like, La La Land.
She sure did.
Yeah.
But
And then nothing happens this whole lengthy period of time.
Yep.
And then finally, the stage manager comes out, looks at the card, and discovers that it's Moonlight. Now, here's some other tea.
Yeah, spell it.
That I read before
Is
I
this
came
about
in
the
here.
accountant's photo?
No, it is just about the accountant.
Mm.
So,
Tweeting.
taking pictures and stuff, being
Yeah.
very nonchalant backstage. However, this is what happened. Now, the two accountants, I'm not going to say their name because from what I also hear
Lord.
is that they're receiving death threats
Yes.
Okay,
as
no.
well.
Yes.
So
That's
it's
extreme.
going a little too
That's
far.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So allegedly, when the debacle was called, neither one of them moved backstage. Like in that instance, they are supposed to remember the winners in order, so that if any such situation happens,
They run out on stage
they're supposed to go
correct
out and
it
take care of it.
before the wrongful
Comes
winner
up
gets
and
to
gives
the platform.
more than
Yes.
one speech.
Now, the other tee that happened
Just fill it.
is that allegedly during rehearsals, believe this was the day before, one of the accountants asked the stage manager, if a situation like this does occur, how do we take care of it? And was told how, he was like, I assume we're supposed to just go out and like deal. He's like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when neither one of them did anything, it was just kind of like, oh, so y'all just gonna stand here and just allow?
And it was even asked.
And both of them, and the stage manager has allegedly said that neither one of them had the disposition for the job. Like, you have to be a certain kind of person. You have to be confident enough that when a mistake does happen, you immediately go out there and take care of it. And neither one of them
Which
did
is
that.
true because
Yeah, but-
it's the Oscars.
Yeah.
Even if you're a nervous, anxious person, when you be like, "Oh, I gotta get out there now,"
Yeah.
like
No.
how is it
Yeah.
freezing the answer?
Mr. Henry in the chat says, as I understood the situation, Warren was allegedly, I'm throwing that in
Oh,
for
yeah.
you, trying to buy time, thinking the producers would come out and help.
No,
Oh.
well then,
I'm just saying we
okay.
have a mistake. There's a problem.
I think so. I honestly think because if you look at the way the card is, the winner is written real big.
If it says Emma Stone La La Land, hello, that award has already been given. You're giving out Best Picture.
But if you look, it says the category
Really
small,
small.
and he's old.
But it still says Emma Stone La La Land, and
Which
you
is
are
why
giving
he was
out Best
confused.
Picture.
But how
I
about
Well, go ahead.
Oh, look, there's a debacle up there. Steve,
Bless.
he
Are we
pulled it
watching
up.
this?
And I hope everyone did go back and rewind to watch the moment each person involved finds out.
Yeah.
Because it's magic.
Well, because here's the thing. It shouldn't have gotten this far to where
so
your
far.
whole entire cast and crew are on stage.
And two people have already
speeches
spoken.
done.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, look, speeches are happening.
There,
and
Emma
all of a sudden,
Stone- Emma
people are
Stone
like,
knows
what?
something's
What's
up.
happening?
She's-
Oh my goodness! What is? Oh, and then finally, look at Lil Cha Cha in the red. She finally decided to come out here, and then finally, Lil Cha Cha here is like, no,
Okay,
no, Moonlight, you won Best Picture. Get up here. Everyone's like, what? What happened? No,
It's not
this
a
is
joke.
for real. This is
Yeah.
not a joke. Here's Jimmy being like, well, I was trying to do my last bit. Faye Dunaway
Faye
is
is
over there.
backing up. Faye is backing
Faye is the
into
Justin
the
Timberlake
wings.
Super Bowl of this whole situation.
So
Yep.
a lot of people are complaining about this behavior right here, if you hit play, where he snatches the card and he's like, look, this is what it is. And the truth is, if you're in that situation, you cannot be trying to be polite.
I
Yeah,
didn't hear
no,
that. I've heard
that's-
people saying that he is the savior for how he handled it. And there was a lot of like, oh, now the white man is the savior again, taking it away from
Well,
the
it's been cycles of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like the clock is ticking, the show's about to end. If these people don't hurry up and get on this stage,
They're not going to get their speech.
cue music,
Yeah.
you're not going to get your speech. But let's go back to Warren. Warren, being a magnificent host that I am, I've been in situations where I almost had a Steve Harvey moment.
things happen.
Yeah.
This is what you do. You're like, and Best Picture goes to, open the envelope, Emma Stone La La Land. You look up, you look around, you say, oh, Jimmy, I think we may have a problem. Or you just say, I think I have the wrong card. Cue Jimmy to come out and be like, Mr. Funny Man host, oh my God, what's happening? Oh my gosh, yep, you do have the wrong. Whew, thank God we don't have a Steve Harvey moment. Cue Lil Cha Cha to come out there with the right card and then say, Moonlight.
Tony, you made it sound so easy. The fact that what happened is now even more shocking that it did.
The truth is, though, Tony, as you pointed out something really, really important, is that you are a good and experienced host. He is an actor. As a good and experienced host who does a lot of interviews, I hear from a lot of publicists telling me that actors, and I'm making a generalization, do not like having to be themselves because they like being told what to say and do.
I'm right
and
here.
so
Well, then
I'm right here.
I'm sorry.
Well, then turn into a character and be like, Houston, we have a problem.
This is my host. This is my host character.
But wait, how about Warren then? Before Moonlight could come up and give a speech, he was like, now
Let
is
me
the time. I'm
explain.
going to tell you it wasn't my fault.
Right, now
He
I'm
wants to
taking
right
believe
up
the
there.
tea. I love it.
Believe
I love it.
the
I do
tea.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Warren was not going to let it.
Anyway.
But no,
That's his
I'm
fault.
sorry.
But
I'm
the
sorry,
right movie
Warren.
won.
True.
Correct.
But,
Yes.
but Warren, honey, no. That was not your time because
Exactly,
you made
that's
it
what I'm
even
saying.
more confusing because then little Miss Emma Stone went in the back and
She was
said,
like, "I have the
I'm
card."
so happy for Moonlight, but I had my card in my hand.
And then it became more of a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then people
She
understood that
wasn't aware that
apparently
there were two
cards.
cards.
No, well, then don't speak on the situation until you fully know something. Warren, you shouldn't have said that until you fully understand what was going on. You should have been like Faye and said,
Well,
Now listen.
Faye took off running so fast that I was on my way home from the Oscar party that I saw her jogging on Laurel Canyon, and I was
Listen,
like,
that
I
could
rolled
be
my
I'm not
window
sure if you're
down
joking.
allegedly, and I said, Faye, what's the tea?
Girl,
And she
what
just
happened?
flipped me off allegedly, and continued jogging. So.
That is a 50-50 chance that it's true. From the Faye Dunaway stories I have heard in this
I'm
town.
sorry,
She was-
I absolutely believe
Yeah,
this story.
But I have a solution for any of these debacles in the future.
Okay,
and
'cause
since
they
this
keep
is a gay
happening.
show, I can do this.
Okay, good.
I want everyone to take a flashback to last Tonys.
Okay.
It's time for Best Musical. The last award of the night. Barbra Streisand comes out dressed as George Washington to deliver the award to Hamilton. If Barbra Streisand, dressed as George Washington, did every Best Musical, Album of the Year, Best Picture, all of it,
Yeah.
Best TV Drama, we would not have this problem.
yeah.
You know what?
Because she wore
is-
that
that's a
costume
beautiful
she
point.
that she didn't forget.
Anal retentive to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
She is so detail oriented that it makes people lose their minds. She would never screw this up.
I think
Yeah.
it's the best plan you've
Just
ever had. Guys, listen, because it took away from the much needed spotlight of Moonlight, what happened sucks. But
It
other than
didn't
that,
take away from it at all.
you don't think it did?
No.
Why?
Because they were able to figure it out right there on the spot. The award was handed to the right people, and a speech or two were still given.
Yeah.
So they still
But
had their
the
moment.
narrative all week is not, this is the first time a gay-themed or an all-black cast movie. It is completely, look what happened with La La Land. So it took away from it in that sense, for sure.
No, I do feel like it. Look what happened to Moonlight.
Right.
But once we get past the debacle of it,
Mm-hmm.
it's still gonna be, oh hey, just a reminder, this is the first LGBTQ movie that has won
And in a lot of
Best
ways,
Picture and all black cast.
It did draw more attention to it in some ways.
Well, and I
certainly.
think
Yes.
a lot of people did maybe become aware of the film
Totally.
that weren't
That is-
because
yes.
this happened. It was a little
Yes.
bit of an Adele Dazeem
Yeah, exactly.
moment. I mean, I
Yes.
still stand by Idina Menzel owes her career for the past 2 years to John Travolta.
Yeah, and for,
Oh,
but
I
that's,
disagree.
well, no, to people that wouldn't know her
But
otherwise.
I disagree on that as well.
Up until then, he can't take any credit. But after that, the next day, more people had the words Idina Menzel on their tongue
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
had
I mean, it was more Adele Dazeem than
ever.
Adina.
Well, but still.
But I disagree about that because I think that everyone knew her name after Frozen came out. Now everyone remembered how to say it properly.
No, they knew her as the girl from Wicked, or that girl that sings "Let It Go."
Okay.
Now she's
Idina
Adele
Menzel.
Dazeem.
Well,
She's
Idina
Belgian.
Menzel.
she's
Either way,
Adela
yeah.
Dazeemzel.
what I was saying was,
Rachel's mom from Glee.
Or before that,
Someone-
it was
Yeah.
that woman that's married to Taye Diggs.
Yeah, true
Who
that.
was in
True
Rent.
that.
full circle.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I know.
But all I was going to say was, despite the Moonlight getting gypped, which was my opinion, I'm kind of glad it happened. That was a 4-hour bore fest, and that was a very
You thought
exciting.
the Oscars were boring?
Actually, I wouldn't say boring, but long. 4 hours is too long for
Oh,
me.
well, okay. Well, then, kudos to Jimmy Kimmel
I
for
like
keeping
Jimmy.
it very entertaining.
Yeah, yes.
The
He
best part, hands down, for me, well, there was two.
Okay.
One, I love a host that knows how to pass out food during an award show.
Yeah.
And when he had candy and cookies and stuff fall down from the sky, love you, Jimmy, for that.
Yeah.
I was jealous.
But the best was when he had that tour group come in and they had no idea that they were coming in, and Lil Gary from Chicago was like, yeah. And the best part also was when he took the Oscar from the guy who played in Moonlight, who won supporting.
Mahershala. Thank you. Mahershala Ali.
There we go. Because I wasn't going to be the one to debacle.
Mahershala.
And I was.
Those of us with hard names learn other people's hard names.
Well,
it seems fair.
Gary from Chicago took his Oscar, handed him his phone to say, take a picture of me with your Oscar.
Yeah.
Loved it.
They were funny.
Did you see what happened with Gary from Chicago? What's been discovered?
I did.
Uh-oh.
It's not great.
Uh-oh.
It's not terrible.
Oh, well,
What is
I
it?
read is.
Well, he was recently released from prison.
Yeah.
And that in his high school age days, he was accused, never convicted, of I believe raping a woman.
Oh no, poor Gary. Well, listen.
Poor Gary.
Poor woman.
Well, listen. Whatever. Everyone has a past.
Yeah.
And you just end up on
Jimmy
the
had
Oscars sometimes.
Jimmy had no idea.
No one
No.
knew that.
No.
And besides, here's the thing. You're sitting among Hollywood people. Do you know the type of debauchable, like, scandalous stories that are sitting
Fair
right
looking.
there?
And they're winning
Best
awards
actor
for it.
to
Yeah, exactly.
a sexual predator.
So no one can say much.
Oh,
So-
and Denzel was mad.
Did you see Bree?
She wouldn't clap.
Bree's face.
Yeah, she wouldn't
yeah.
clap. And she was the one
Good.
announcing it,
Yeah,
right?
she announced it and then just stood there and was like, "Great." I think that was wonderful that she stood her ground. That was when. So after that happened, and then I love Emma Stone. I'm in love with her. She's amazing. I don't think she deserved an Oscar for La La Land.
Yeah,
at all.
She has done much better
Those are all
things.
my
Much
thoughts.
better.
Exactly, yeah.
But then when La La Land won, I went, "Well, this is the worst Oscars I've seen."
Ever.
And then when it all happened, I went, "This is the best Oscars ever."
Oh, it was
Not just because
exciting.
Moonlight won, because I watched what happened.
Yeah.
I was just talking to, I haven't seen La La Land yet, but.
Don't waste your time.
Well, I mean, I plan to, but one of the things that everyone has said about La La Land is that it's the story of, like, basically an actor's struggle.
Struggle.
But this was, like, a great opportunity for one of those struggling actors, singers, dancers to be in this film. And they went with two of the most highly paid actors who have already had their shot.
That's a really
for
good
this
point.
film. So I think it would have been great to introduce this story and be able to say, and introducing
Someone.
this person and this
so
person.
that their story could also be intrinsically linked to the plot.
Yeah, because then maybe it would have won.
You know, my biggest problem with it was when a white guy saves Jazz from John Legend. That was my personal.
love
Who did
that.
save it from John Legend? I would have laid on that piano and said, "You sing Ordinary People to me 3 times."
Okay.
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. Oh, well, speaking of John Legend, let me tell you who was over the Oscars.
Oh.
Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah, she sure was.
She
Chrissy Teigen
was
said-
done. Bye.
Did you see her tweet?
The queen
Yes.
of
I
memes.
just woke up. What happened?
What happened? You know what? And that's why I love Chrissy Teigen,
I
because
adore her.
she just, like, literally the camera cut and she was just like, "Girl,
She's
Bye.
the personality of our
you know,
time.
Yeah.
you smell good."
Thank you.
It's like, you know what knocked her out? The cookies and
Yeah, sugar
donuts
crash.
episode.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, girl."
Okay, bye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Guys, how do you feel about the third producer of La La Land who had to give a speech but already knew at that point that he didn't win, and then at the end was like, "But we actually didn't win, by the way"? Because I've heard people feel bad for him. I've heard people criticize him for saying a speech at all.
Yeah, it was weird that he was like, blah, 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 I'm talking, we didn't win. I went, wait, what's happening?
Yeah. I mean, what do you do?
In that moment, what do you do? Yeah,
what
that's
do
how
you
I felt
do?
too.
It's- Yeah.
But there it is, guys. Your 2017 Oscars.
Oscar recap.
Amazing.
Be sure
Dang.
to tune in next year.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Never
You
know.
just don't.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's move on to another film that's
Yes.
coming out soon.
2 weeks.
Oh.
17th? that sounds right.
I mean,
Sounds good to me.
There might be an advanced fan screening on the 16th that I'm going to, and I'm definitely going to have to leave our show in 2 weeks, 10 minutes early, so that I'm not late to the LCAP.
Which I assume means you'll be in full bell drag for the show for the
Yeah, I'll
screening.
probably wear my bell dress to our show.
Thank you.
In 2 weeks.
We will be ready.
I'm gonna do this right here and now. Would you like to go to a press screening with me on Saturday?
Oh
Not tomorrow,
my
next week.
God.
I can't. I'll be out of town. But
Oh, so one
that
day
is
early
so-
instead of on the day. Okay, by the way, it's Beauty and the Beast that we're talking about. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
we got so excited with it among ourselves.
I mean, it's
But
a lot
it's
of feelings.
coming. Tale as
Sorry,
old as
this is Yel's
And then
topic.
suddenly
not
I was
it's
trying
fine,
to
it's
clear
fine,
my
it's all
schedule to
fine.
go to the advanced reading. I mean, she didn't invite me, but I was
She's
like,
over right here, and she
oh,
turned
well,
right away
Well, I
from
mean, I was like, well, I mean, he can't go. I mean, yeah, look
And
at
it never
yeah,
reached
look at
that
my
far.
calendar.
I just got all the nerve to ask and got rejected. So I need a
was
minute to
hard.
I need a minute to
Totally.
get back up to ask
That wasn't a
again.
rejection.
It was absolutely a rejection.
No,
It's
he's
heartbreaking.
busy. She's booked to capacity, honey. She's booked.
Honey, do you want to go with me to see Beauty and the Beast at a press screening?
I have to check my schedule.
I'm never asking someone out again. That's
rough.
not true.
Yeah, that is a fallacy.
That is a lie.
Lord.
I like that.
See,
It's nice,
now
right?
you understand
I get
why.
it.
Yeah.
We're a touchy-feely
Anyway.
crew. But
We are.
anywho.
I don't know if y'all heard. I'm sure y'all heard. Disney, I'm assuming this happened because after finding Dory, when all the fans got real excited from the trailer seeing lesbians and then it wasn't lesbians, they decided, well, I guess we should do this. And Disney has had their first explicitly gay character coming out in Beauty and the Beast, LeFou.
But you know what? That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Because who else would be attached so closely to the hip to a guy who looks like Gaston?
Well, so there's like this very famous quote that's going around. That's a weird way to say it, but there's a quote by somebody in charge of the movie saying that the character of LeFou sometimes wants to be Gaston and sometimes
Wants
wants
to be with him.
kiss.
Be with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which
It's kind of like Mr. Burns and
Smithers. Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is perfect in that way, but I hear a lot of people being like, "Is this the first gay Disney character?" And there are, first of all, it certainly is. That's said.
It's the first one they're going.
But
yes.
how
yes,
many
so
can we
they're
name
acknowledging.
that we presume? The first
All
one that
the
comes to mind:
princes.
Scar,
Jafar.
Jafar. Two baddie, Ursula.
I was gonna say
Ursula.
Ursula.
that
is
guys.
literally based on Divine.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Ursula's
Yeah.
not
Well, there
even.
you go.
Like
Yeah.
Ursula is a drag queen.
Yeah.
Ursula's been my favorite
On
since
purpose.
long before I knew I was gay, and,
Right.
and now all in this moment is coming together.
The Queen of Hearts?
Honey.
I didn't know.
I'm taking the Queen of Hearts.
The Queen of Hearts is
Honey.
probably a lesbian.
Yeah.
You knew, honey.
Yeah.
She seems
You're
real
right.
aggressive.
Yes, I did.
You knew, honey.
Sorry, he's outing me to my childhood
Like
self.
re-outing you.
Yeah, exactly. In front of
That's a lot.
everyone on this
Sorry.
gay show.
Well,
okay.
it's like it's sort of exciting to me that this. What?
Timon
What are you
and
talking
Pumbaa.
But
yeah.
they
But
were
then
more.
again,
They were
those
more
are straight- those are
Rosencrantz and
frat boys.
Guildenstern.
So.
Well,
Yeah.
because
They can't
the
also
Lion
be
King
gay.
is Hamlet, so
Yeah.
Timon
that's
and Pumbaa
beautiful.
are Rosencrantz and
Yeah,
Guildenstern.
but they couldn't.
I mean, they could still
Oh,
be
you
together.
are a
Yeah.
real gay because I never picked up on like
No,
all of that.
that's a
You didn't know it was Hamlet?
literary gay, not a. We're all.
You didn't
all
know
root
that the
gays are
Lion
gays.
King was Hamlet? Okay.
Listen,
Well,
I'm a
the
kid
Lion
of the
King
90s.
is Hamlet.
I'm a kid of the 90s. I read Cliff Notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Ain't nobody
Same,
trying to sit there and read
same.
Hamlet and all that. Listen, I had other things to study for. I read Cliff Notes.
It's fine. It's fine.
Did anybody else know that?
We're not going to
Not
shade you.
sorry. Not everyone can be theater kids. I get it.
That's true.
Oh, my
Oh Lord.
I think that it was something that I might have heard at one point and still didn't know. Like it's so that's even worse. I would say I didn't know that, but
Okay, well, this
who can
side-
really keep Hamlet and Macbeth straight? Even many people probably,
Okay.
but not us. And we're
Thank
okay
you.
with that.
Thank you.
It's the Scottish play. We're technically
Tails
doing
on
a
the
show,
side.
so now you've cursed us.
We're fine. We're in a
Oh,
studio,
yeah, no, that
not a
does make me
theater. We're
nervous.
fine.
Okay, just kidding. Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh,
Beauty
and the
LeFou.
Yeah, I think it was. It's one of those things that, like, everyone knew, but no one was saying.
I
Yeah.
just think it's great that they're doing it. I don't know what context they'll actually. Does it say what context they're going to? Like, are they going to
Apparently,
explicitly
what
say
Bill
it?
Condon, the director, has said is that there is a moment at the end of the film that is a specifically gay moment. He said it's not long, but it's definitely a payoff to his entire arc.
Cool.
And what we've seen in the like leaked, officially Disney leaked footage,
Right.
is a lot more development between Gaston and LeFou. That there's more. He's not just the Fool.
And,
Which is
by the
literally
way,
what his name means in
yeah,
French. So, which was my only pause when this was first announced, because I was like, huh, we
That's the
fought
fun.
so hard to make it not the dumb dandy,
Right.
But I really don't think that we're going in that direction. Like, I
And
trust.
it's baby steps.
Well,
anyway.
and also, like, Bill Condon has given us Gods and Monsters, Chicago, Dreamgirls. Like,
Exactly.
this is not a man that I like. This is a man I trust.
And Luke Evans, who's playing Gaston, is gay in real life, by the way.
yes, bye.
So there you go. And he's handsome. I honestly didn't know much about him until this week looking him up.
And he's got a major, like, West End street cred, theater cred. Like, he was the original Roger in their 2007 Rent, and he was the original Rod in Princeton in Avenue Q.
The more you
he's
know.
a sangstress.
Does he have a boyfriend?
I don't know.
He was dating a, I don't know his
Over
name,
it.
but some model.
But the premiere's tonight. We could always just, like, stalk Hollywood Boulevard and
We
be
could.
like,
I'm like, hey, come
Luke.
talk to us.
You
hey, if you think, oh,
It works every time.
And then if he says, no, I'm taken, I'd be like, well, you owe me an Uber drive back to North Hollywood.
That's fair.
oh my God.
Jazz in the chat says, I doubt they did it because of Finding Dory. It was in production for years. Still, I've decided it's because of Finding
I didn't even know what you were talking about with the
So-
Finding Dory moment.
Well, there was,
in
in the
the
trailer.
in the trailer for Finding Dory, there's this quick shot that really could be anything. It's two women.
Yeah.
That's it, with a baby stroller. So everyone went crazy, being like, Disney put lesbians
Lesbian
in.
moms.
And
They said it
they're
just like that,
not.
too.
They did say it just like
Are
that.
they actually, is it like extras? Even though it's a cartoon,
Yeah.
but yeah.
They're just two women in the movie. And Disney like came out and was like, it is not. That's not what it is.
Yeah, I know.
And so
Just
now
a
I feel
lady
like,
and her friend.
yeah. I assumed it was two nannies, but you know.
well,
What are you gonna do? Either way, Le Fou, the Fool, the gay fool. And you know what? Many of us who were stifling our sexuality learn to be funny and learn to be the fool to make others laugh and make it okay. So it's
I
fine.
beg
It's
your
part of our
pardon.
history.
I also
I
just,
beg all of your pardons, ma'am.
Well, I said some of us.
oh,
I believe that was shade toward me.
It wasn't, actually.
but
But
back
if you
to
think the shoe
Disney,
fits. Right.
do we not think that it would be nice for Disney to have, I don't know, a gay prince
Yes.
or princess?
Well, of course.
Could
it'd be
we do
amazing.
that? I mean, they don't even have
but you
to
think
be.
we're there? We're there.
Yes. So here's what I think. I think that now that Disney is slowly going, you can have a prince or princess that isn't looking just for love. That's not the premise of the show, right? Like Moana had no love story.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think they're going, wait, we can do that? That's crazy. So I think
Oh, where it's
having
not the issue,
yeah,
but he happens to be.
yeah, I
That's
think that would be
interesting.
amazing.
Yeah. They were going to
baby
make
steps.
Elsa potentially gay in the sequel.
No. The fans are begging
Yeah.
Elsa to be
it's
gay.
that hashtag give Elsa a girlfriend.
Right.
Yes.
The fans of.
I'm
the fans.
available to be Elsa's
Let the
girlfriend.
storm rage on.
I would love to.
The cold never bothered her anyway.
That's
Yes.
true. Let
But
it go.
before we move on from Beauty and the Beast, I do want to like do one little like talk about one little thing, and
Yeah.
I think for the age that we all were when this film came out, like there are, even in the original animated that has nothing particularly explicitly or overtly gay, the themes of the film are so coded queer as we can like recode them. You know, you've got this beast under a curse. You've got this girl who's different and misunderstood
Right.
and puzzling to the norm. Like everything is beating the standards. And I read Attitude magazine out of the UK. Beauty and the Beast is on their cover this issue, and they released a beautiful story in this about Howard Ashman, the lyricist of Beauty and the Beast, who passed of AIDS just after the first screening of the movie, so before the film even came out. And this is a man whose work is so beloved and has changed so many lives, and I mean, for me personally, like brought me into musical theater with Little Shop of Horrors and the Little Mermaid score, and so it's just, I loved that they took this moment to like honor him, and I do feel like he infused so much of his story into these
But
characters.
AIDS specifically, right? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's the AIDS that what they talk about is the AIDS parallel to the Beast's curse is really an amazing thing, and the Beast was like barely a character in the first draft, and then Howard came in and he was like, no, this is their story. It's not called Belle. It's called Beauty and the Beast.
Interesting. But did you say he was the lyricist?
The lyricist.
I love that he had that input.
Oh my gosh, he had so much creative control to the point that it was just the 25th anniversary of the animated film, and they released a documentary, and Paige O'Hara, the voice of Belle in the original film, was telling stories about being in the studio and recording the vocals that are now so iconic to all of us. And she was recording There's Something There that wasn't there before, and she's singing the new and a bit alarming bit, right? And Howard Ashman, literally on speakerphone, he's on his deathbed, like dying of AIDS, and he tells Alan Menken, the composer, wait, stop, I have a note. Tell Paige, think Streisand. I shit you not. And she comes back, new and a bit alarming. And like moments like that, moments that have now become iconic because of Howard's gay sensibility.
They give me a chill.
Like, that story, I literally was watching the documentary and started bawling.
Yeah,
my boyfriend was like,
shoot.
what is wrong with you? I'm like, this is so important.
You're like, do we need to rewind?
Oh,
Man,
and
you
I
missed
did. So
Well,
anyway, I just like, I love to continually remember and lift up the spirit of Howard Ashman, because
Thank
he is
you.
so important to so
Glad you
many.
did. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Ooh, that did give me a chill. All right. Beauty and the Beast. Let's move it to television. Shall we?
Oh, well, finally, big announcement happened yesterday.
Yeah.
RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9 will premiere on March 24th at 8 p.m. on VH1.
Yes.
Moving
Unbelievable.
Now, the move comes to a shock to a lot of people, but some of the benefits is, one, apparently VH1 is in HD.
Yeah.
Which I'm a little nervous.
I know
to
that
see
how
these
the queens knew
in
when they
HD.
were going in.
I
Yeah.
mean, beat your face.
Right.
Beat your face.
But also, this now allows this very popular show to now reach a broader.
A lot of people didn't have logo.
Yes, and actually, coincidentally, before this was announced, my cable company, I had like some switches that happened, and I lost a bunch of channels. And when I called and I was like, logo's one of those ones that I've always had. I asked you guys if I could switch, would I still have it? They gave it back to me. Thank you, Spectrum. But I did all that because I'm like, you know, Drag Race is coming back. I have to be able to watch Drag Race. But when I heard that it's on VH1, I was like, oh, okay, I did all that for nothing. But then I realized we still live in a day and age where people can't get logo on their cable.
But it's
Like-
that you have to like fight for that.
Yeah, like I feel like if you have Bravo, We, Oxygen, logo should be a part of that
Right.
as well, and it shouldn't be something that's on a higher tier of your.
And it's
your
in the
cable
it's
company.
Viacom, which is MTV, VH1,
VH1, yeah.
Comedy
Yeah.
Central. So
It
like, why
should-
can't it just be a part?
Yes. For me, I'm super excited that A, that is coming back, B, that it's on VH1 to reach a broader audience. I'm starting to hear some that it's now on Fridays
Yes,
at 8.
that's what I wanted to talk about.
But I feel like this: get your girlfriends together, have a viewing party, go out.
Yeah,
It's a
it's not like
pregame
it's super
perfection.
late.
Yeah,
It's actually perfect for pregame
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're going to go
And it's
out.
perfect for party nights. Like, you
That's
know.
at first I was like, oh, and then I was like, wait, I don't go out. Now I can have people over and not be like, sorry, gotta go to bed. Like,
Yeah.
and now it's kind of
So
a party.
Friday nights are like referred to in TV as the kiss of death.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'll say this show is not gay, sadly. But Grimm is a show. It is like one of the few and only shows that started and lived and survived and thrived over 100 episodes
Yeah.
on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And,
So
and
it
let's
is
not forget
possible.
the TGIF days.
Yeah.
Golden Girls used to be on Friday or maybe Saturday. I was reading the history of it, and people would go to the clubs and stop and watch. So it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just in the past 10, I don't know how long it's been, maybe 15 years, certainly nothing on Fridays except for rare exceptions. But it used to be a thing, and maybe it's coming back.
Well, in All-Star
maybe.
season, I went down to Precinct downtown to
Yeah.
watch the viewing every week, and
Yeah.
then it was a weeknight, so we would all like the episode would end, and then I would like run home.
Yeah, right, right.
So now we don't have to.
Exactly.
Now we can
And-
dance into club.
Yeah.
And I feel like also that's speaking of clubs. When I used to work at a club in West Hollywood that I would never say their name because I don't want to give them any type of credit. But figure it out for yourself. Yes, that's a little bit of shade and bitterness. We used to have official viewing parties of Drag Race. That's back when it was on Mondays.
Right.
When it switched to Thursdays for All Stars, they still had a viewing. Now I feel like it's on Friday. You can now get those people who are maybe just getting off of work during that happy hour to come in earlier and stay for a bit to watch the show. Yeah. You get those club goers who usually go out late to come out earlier. Everyone has a great time together for an hour, and then you depart. So I
Sounds
think,
like a win-win-win-win.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to take some getting used to. And they're going to play re-air episodes on Logo. But I feel like there's still some things that are going to come out about this change. I feel like there's a reason.
Worry that like
something's happening with Logo?
That they're gonna ruin the show. I always get worried when
it's
a
already
show
shot.
moves networks. No, but like future seasons. I always get worried that like if you move networks and I would say it's a more conservative network than Logo.
Well, luckily it is under the Viacom family. So Logo, VH1, BET, MTV.
But it is a
different watered down.
Yeah.
Because Drag Race is produced by World of Wonder, is the actual producing company.
Yeah.
So if VH1 now has purchased it, that doesn't change the structure of.
No.
I guess we'll see.
Remember, they're starting off with a bang with the one and only Lady Gaga, who, by the way, is replacing Beyonce at Coachella.
Yep.
Yes.
So just wanted to slide that in. Yeah.
Down the line.
Make sure you guys support Drag Race if you've had any. Well, now. I don't know if you guys ever realized this, but Drag Race had a very young audience as well, like kids who were under 21 and 18 who couldn't get into the clips now have access and now don't have to go to their moms and go, do we get Logo?
Yeah, right. I'm not trying to say anything about myself.
Yeah.
That's actually a really great point.
Yeah. So now they'll have access to it as well. So
all right, I'm less worried now.
Kudos to this. So yeah. Also, just while I'm talking anyway.
Yes.
And we were talking about films. Here in LA, we have Outfest Fusion that's happening, which is a People of Color film festival.
LGBT.
Yes, LGBT, thank you, People of Color Film Festival.
LGBT-POC.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure we got the letters.
I got it.
So this started yesterday. It will end on March 7th, and there are a ton of movies that you can see, including Moonlight.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's true. And a discussion after.
Yes.
Yeah, so
And
just saying.
there is
That's my
a
ticket.
Stars panel, Fox Stars, that was created by Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels will be there in a panel discussion. There's workshops and
Will
all that
she be
kind of
there?
stuff.
Will Queen Latifah be there?
I'm not sure. I think some of the
She
cast
could
will
be.
there.
She always shows up at those gay events.
I mean.
As a straight ally.
Yeah.
But
I'll find out.
I'm sure you will.
Let me handle that.
And speaking of drag queens,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
There is a movie called Cherry Pop.
Yes.
That will be screening tomorrow, Friday, and it features Bob the Drag Queen and some other very popular RuPaul's Drag Race drag queens, including, I believe, Detox is in it, Mayhem Miller, who's a local Los Angeles queen,
Yes.
and a ton of other people.
Yeah.
So if you want more information, make sure you go to outfest.org. Again, that's outfest.org to find out more information about Outfest Fusion, the LGBT People of Color Film Festival.
And he's not even getting paid. I mean, imagine. They should be.
Listen, let me tell you, keep those checks coming.
And
I want to, because I'm gonna just jump on that.
Yeah.
There's if we're
true.
if we're plugging events that are happening.
Agreed.
I've talked about it before, and I want to make sure that everyone here knows this weekend, starting tomorrow, is Klexicon.
Finally?
Yes.
You've been talking about Klexicon since like 6 months ago.
I know. I'm so excited. Klexicon is tomorrow. It is this weekend in Las Vegas. Klexicon is a queer women in media convention. Specifically, we have the cast, or the ladies of Lost Girl are going to be there. The ladies of Winona Earp. These are Canadian sci-fi shows that I'm sure none of you have heard of.
Nope.
We have Sarah Shahi and Amy Acker from Person of Interest. That's a show you've heard of. They're going to be there. And I am moderating panels. So if you were in Vegas this weekend, you have to come and say hello to me. That is a requirement.
yes.
Yay.
Yes.
And tell her you're a fan of this show specifically.
Yeah, let me know that you
So we
watch
know
this show.
you're one of us.
Yeah.
Now there's another thing you can be watching because it's not over yet.
It's not over yet. It's only halfway over.
Take us there,
this
Blake.
week, a miniseries, a very important miniseries on ABC called When We Rise from Dustin Lance Black, the Academy Award-winning screenwriter of Milk. And it is a adaptation of the memoir of Cleve Jones about his involvement in the gay rights movement from literally the early 70s all the way up to the fight for marriage equality. It's an amazing story. It's an amazing miniseries. It's got amazing cameos in it. The first 2 episodes, well, it's really 8 episodes, but they're doing it in 2-hour blocks. And so the first 4, I guess, we covered ground from literally 1971 up through the AIDS crisis. So it's brilliant, it's moving, it's telling stories of inclusion and diversity within the community and the fight from outside. It's really spectacularly done, and I do encourage everybody to check it out. And again, they're not paying me. This is just it's important to know our stories. It's important to know our history. I meet young queer people all the time that just have no idea. You could throw out the name Harvey Milk, and that just doesn't even mean anything to them.
And especially that, thank God, these young kids don't feel any pressure to be gay, about being gay or coming out. It's so much easier for the stories to be lost.
Exactly.
So
last night's episode, one of the episodes from last night dealt with a thing called Prop 6 in California that I had no idea of the details of it. I had heard it. I had heard, we've all seen the Anita Bryant, like, pie in the face clip, but I had no idea the intricacies of how people could lose their jobs, could lose their livelihoods, all over just the assumption, not even actually being out, the assumption of homosexual activity. So it's I'm even learning things, and I, self-satisfied think that I know much.
So there you go.
They're even informing me, and it's really moving and really worth checking out. So there's still 2 more episodes tonight at 9 and tomorrow at 9 on ABC. When We Rise.
Love it.
The whole time, like you were describing the documentary, I had the song "And I Rise Up."
That's their theme for this miniseries.
That's why.
And it's got an amazing cast.
Incredible cast.
Rotating each night.
Featuring Whoopi and Rosie as lesbians.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Shock.
Fantastic.
Okay, well,
Whoopi and Rosie as lesbians?
I know.
That's my dream.
But Whoopi's wig changes in every year, and it just gives me all the life.
I'll never forget Rosie's wig and hairspray. I'm still living with that.
And she's got some from her age makeup. That's all I'm gonna say. You just gotta look it up.
Thank you. Very excited to watch. It's waiting on my DVR.
Yeah. Me too.
Well, you know what else is waiting for you?
I know, Moonlight. A lot. Listen, a lot. I'm an uncultured swine, guys. Anything else from anyone that you want to share from your hearts?
I want to share something from the chat.
Great.
I know that this isn't the Once Upon a Time after show, but I'm going to ask it. Art Master Austin wants to ask Blake, since Once Upon a Time has lesbian characters but no gay male characters, what are you thinking?
I don't like it. I want it to have gay male characters. I would love for Once Upon a Time to do that.
We need a gay prince.
I want Once Upon a Time to have a trans character.
Yes, that too.
I have a question, because we have a few minutes left, and I want to ask this, and as a non-trans person, I'm going to ask this.
Okay.
Is it okay to at some point drop the word trans and just call people not a trans woman, but a woman?
I have wondered that whenever I have to write a headline, and it specifically has to be, it's to let people know this is a story about a gay person, we'll say gay actor or gay whatever, and there's always comments that I understand that are like, why does it have to be gay? Why can't it just be normal? But it's on a gay site that I'm writing for, so but I get that, and so when I see trans woman, trans man, I do wonder that, and I've personally never heard a trans person have a problem with it, so I have the same questions. Basically, my answer is I had the same question.
I mean, I think it comes down to that's the goal, but visibility still matters so much, and acknowledgement matters so much. That unless we acknowledge the journey and acknowledge the reality, that it's still an affirmation of gender identity. So you're not going against their identity by saying trans man, trans woman.
Right.
You are still identifying.
The reason this came up is next week on Wednesday is it's Day Without a Woman.
Oh yes.
The Women's March women's
Day Without
strike,
Women.
Day Without Women.
I'm staying home.
And it's a lot of, during the Women's March, there was a lot of discussion about how trans women felt like they weren't included because there were a lot of signs talking specifically about female biological anatomy. And I was thinking about it, and I remember thinking, no, at no point did I think that a trans woman should not be at the Women's March and shouldn't be included. They're women.
Yeah.
I don't
Correct.
think. And so I just was wondering when we stop calling Laverne Cox a trans woman and we start calling her Laverne Cox.
I think it's just one of those things where, you know, we have to be identified, you know, as a gay man or woman, as a trans man or woman, as a African American woman, as a Caucasian Asian mix. Like, it's
people are labeling anyway, but it's not. But I think you made a great point that it is right now. It's about representation. They almost should be fighting to say this so that there's no shame. So we lose the shame and stigma.
Yeah,
Right.
because I do look at it as the goal. Like, that's
Right.
where we should be wanting to head, to the point that
And
you don't have to. There's enough equality and actual rights for trans people that you don't have to qualify.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, there you go. The more you know.
Yeah, Mr. Henry in the chat says the same conversation about gay marriage versus marriage.
Exactly. That's
marriage is marriage.
that is.
And it is while we have a few minutes, it is a struggle anyway. So, like, how dare someone say, like, oh, we're not going to identify this marriage? I would go, excuse me, do you know how long it's taken me to get to this point? To find somebody, to swipe right on someone that is going to respond.
Thank you.
And then to go out on several dates and trying to figure out who pays and who doesn't. And then to keep this person. It's a lot.
I love this.
I deserve marriage just for the BS you have to go through to get to that point.
No, that is
Preach.
true. I love that you said, well, since we have a few minutes, and it was literally a minute 59. That's
great.
fine. Anyway,
good.
guys, we love you. We didn't have a guest, and we ran out of time. There's so much to say to you, but we'll be back next week. I'm Adam Salandra. You can find me on social at Adam Salandra.
And I'm Tony Moore. You can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com.
I'm Yael Tygiel. This weekend I am in Vegas at Klexicon. Come say hello, get a hug. Yeah. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. Stop it, you two.
And I am Blake McIver, and you can find me across the social medias. I didn't do it at the top of the show. At Blake McIver.
And guys, if you're listening on iTunes, please leave a comment, rate us. Positively, perhaps, but whatever you feel in your hearts, and
We'll
let
take
us
your
know
hate
you're
comments,
listening.
too.
Yeah, we love you all, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.